right. Hey everybody, you got your boy Major here, Art Mob Pod. We are back. We are back at it, and this is some real stuff this week, man. We got a lot to go over. I haven't shot a pod in a couple of days. I've done a lot of smaller content to get out to folks, but been a lot to unpack. There's a lot of stuff going on in your boy's world, and you know what I realize is what I go through and what I deal with is really unique. Unique for many reasons. Partly because I'm kind of doing this as a solopreneur. Because again, we're in a space, a Web3 space that isn't necessarily kind of enjoyed by everyone. People are mystified about it, and I've been in it a long time, and well, I say a long time, longer than most, and I live a different type of life, partially nomadic, but mostly and always intentional. I so now, here just being in Houston, and before I go in, this is what was this, the first or the second day of November, and a lot's going on. I have a heavy heart. I have a in one sense, I have a heavy heart because of the pain and the hurt of losing hip hop's one of hip hop's favorites. Takeoff from the Migos. He died 2 nights ago in here in Houston, where I happen to be. I happen to be in Houston right now, and it's really one of those things where this was something that didn't have to happen. It didn't, not at all. But it's just another horrible tale that plagues our music. And it's one of those things where you want to find a reason to say something, or you want to find a reason why it happened, and I really can't find it, because you're like, bro, why were you out at 2:30? Okay, yeah, you're a rapper, my bad, demon time, you're on it, but you got way too much money to be rolling dice. And this is what I'm talking about when we talk about being responsible for your artists. And it's not saying that every business is supposed to police and regulate folks, but we do realize that hip hop is a very dangerous game. A very dangerous game. Careless, ignorant, and I wish that we started to realize how powerful we are. We need to come together, people. We need to come together. This is just it's just way too silly. Way too silly. Poor kid. 28 years old. 28 years old. Yeah, so really horrible. I did a live yesterday, and I got emotional about it, and mainly because, again, the only people that win are the record labels, the people who sell the music. The family doesn't win. We don't win as fans. We don't. We lose another one, and all it is just chalked up to black on black violence. Excuse me. Black on black violence. So sad, so sad. Life lost. And yeah, and it's been a jam-packed week. I mean, it's been jam-packed. So yeah, so Takeoff is, and so it's he and Quavo were in Houston. They went to a birthday party. For Jay Prince. Junior. At this bowling alley. And the bowling alley is, I'm familiar with the bowling alley. I've never been, but I passed it. I've driven past it. Over there on San Jacinto. And it was on the 3rd floor. So it's what, 810 bowling? And the party was over. Things out here close at 2 o'clock. Party was over. They're outside playing dice. My thing is, why you playing dice, bro? Like, you already sell records that make you millions. You want to sell dice. You want to play dice. And the one thing about being out here, you'll have a lot of people that are very, they're very, I mean, there's a lot of, I mean, bro, come on, give me a break. People talk about their sleep. I'm like, man, listen, none of us sleep. Like, we sleep, but you sleep. Like, all right, wah wah. But yeah, man, it's you're out there playing dice. You need to be home. Here it is at 2 a.m. Now it's 2:30. You're playing dice. Like, how much money could you win that can change your life? And I wasn't there, but allegedly, apparently, that it wasn't Takeoff. Takeoff is the quiet one, right? It is heard as Quavo. It was chatting a little bit too much because the dude was getting at him, getting in his pockets. They started to exchange words or whatever, and one of their bodyguards, one of their entourage, pulls out, and that is when it happens. Allegedly friendly fire. So his boy hit him and killed him. Wow. Damn. Like, it just all doesn't make any sense, man. None of it makes any sense. I'm sure this is going to be talked about for a while, so I'll just let the other folks talk about that, because this isn't necessarily a podcast for that. It's about the culture, but it's not about highlighting the horrible aspects of the culture. What it's about is showing the culture how we can create freedom strategies utilizing Web3. That's what this this platform is all about. It's about technology, it's about mindset, it's about soft skills, it's about being prepared to build generational wealth using the tools that are utilized for this space. I see too many people in this game trying to get people on board. Too many people in this game trying to do something that isn't kosher. So we need to grasp it. We need to understand it. We need to understand what can we use this technology for, especially when it comes to us. What can we use the technology for? The technology that we have here can make up for a lot of lost time. It can help those who didn't feel that they have a place in tech find a place in tech. It can help secure your generational offerings to your future generations. It can let the world know that you existed. It can create a layer of security over family assets, over intellectual property. It can create lines of income coming from many places in the world without you having to be there. But what it can definitely do is guard against a lot of the lies and the atrocities that were inflicted upon us as people. That's really what this thing is about. You know, I'm a freedom strategist, you know, and the tactics that we use are blockchain. It's confronting the people who are the gatekeepers for the truth. Because once truth is on chain and we verify that it's on chain and it's truth, it's always truth. Right now, most of the truth can be disputed because people approach with these type of traumatic kind of bars that really get people off of their message, and they have these components in the public that are like tripwires, and immediately here comes the media, here comes, you know, the laws, you know what I mean, like, and mostly the media, because it's, you know, and then they attack you with your money, then they attack your character, you know. All of these are the simple game plan that they play every time, and it's not ever brought into a real arena to have real conversation about real truth. And that's the thing that's sad about it all, because most people want to forget about it, but I cannot. We cannot. And if you're black and you're hearing my voice and you're seeing my face, you better not. This has nothing to do with anything other than truth. Do you wonder why your life is the way that it is? Well, I'm sure you have something to do with it, but it's not 100% your fault. And that right there, my friends, is the biggest issue. That's the biggest issue. Why don't we make all black men criminals so that way we can take them out of the system? Why don't we make, like, all of these things, you know, you have to walk a real fine line. And then the saddest thing about it, those black people who are able to avoid this system and do well for themselves, they now are able to look down on other black people. So the thing is about coming together. And so when we talk about Web3 means, I believe there's a spiritual component to Web3, mainly because it's about transparency, shining in the sunlight. That right there is the greatest, as they say, the greatest antiseptic, greatest cleanser. Sunlight, truth. That's what that hasn't been, right? Because for the simple fact that the definition of hate speech is a conversation about certain industries that we see that dominate our world. Banking, entertainment, information. So banking, that's money. Entertainment, that's marketing. And information. And all of this goes back to these freaking holy wars, man. All of this is about ownership of the planet, ownership of this kingdom of Babylon. And there is a real sickness out there that is very, very dominant. So much so that people would rather fall in line than speak the truth. Even though the truth is staring right in your eyes. And so if there is, and this is what's very important about having independent media. It's important about not partnering up with these corporations, because their intentions are not our intentions. They want to keep the status quo. We don't. We are disruptive by nature. We are evolutionary. We are revolutionary. We are innovative. You know, so it's been a week. It's been a week. You know, this conversation now leads me into, you know, Kyrie Irving. And watching all of these people talk about Kyrie, like, it hurts me. Because these people go at him so hard. Like Stephen A. Smith. It's like they hire these people to represent the culture, and at any given time, when it comes time to have real conversation, they want to focus the real conversation on something else. Listen, man, you go ahead and go get poked with the friggin' with your medicine. You go ahead. We realized that it wasn't a thing, that you didn't need it, right? And it was like, look, man, I realize that everybody has a job and work for corporations, but corporations are soulless. So when you're walking around caping, be careful, man, because the money comes and the money goes. You know what I mean? The money comes and the money goes. Sit around and talk about people for a living. That's great. God bless you. But just know when you're hurting people, and not hurting people, your people. Like, these people don't have to, like, they are the culture. You do not come into this arena to see the owner. You do not come into this arena to see The commentators. You come into this arena to see the players. So the players ultimately have the leverage. And the problem is this: you always need people to speak out, man. Like, the money ain't the thing, bro. Like, the money ain't the thing. How many game checks do I have to give up to keep my integrity? There you go, bro. That's it. It's about integrity. You telling me, oh, if you get the money, go, bro? Come on, man. You do for money. A lot of people want to make sure that the money that they get isn't tainted with that devil spirit. And that's the biggest thing about it, man. That's the real biggest thing about it. Like, when you go back to like those ancient civilizations and all the ancient friggin', language and rituals. We're playing a spiritual game. We're playing a spiritual fight. And I've been sitting on the sideline watching it for a while, and I've been dipping in and dipping out, dipping in and dipping out. Like, they'll murder people around me. They'll put people in prison around me. They'll embarrass people around me. People around me will lose their money, their funds. That does go on. And I pay very close attention to that. And it has helped, hurt. It's brought me to, sometimes where I'm like, wow, is this really what I want to do? Did you see what they just did to so and so? And is this, a warning to me? And when you realize, after a while, you just don't have a choice. I am a leader in this. Facts. Hi, guys. Major dream here. And I'm not a leader because, like, oh, I want to get up and lead. Oh, it's because I'm chosen. That's what this is. Art Mob, the pod, it's chosen. Because everyone else that no one sees it kind of the way I do. And it's like, why? Well, because it's supposed to be your thing to do. Like, I want other people to see it so I can give it to them so they can do it. That's always been my game. But no. Apparently the Most High is like, so here we go. I want to see something about this. I'm supposed to be podding. Oh, wow. That's cool. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just trying some stuff. Does it die out? Wow. Okay. Yeah, look at all of that. That's what it's like to have. Okay. Wow. So it looks like I really have a podcast. You see that? I even have sound effects, folks. And that right there is my evolution, because eventually it's to have. I've often thought about having a podcast, sharing this space with others for a podcast, but I realized that they can't, mainly because there's no one with the type of information that I have, or who has been picked really and chosen, who can get this fully. Because what we're fighting here, folks, is generational, spiritual, intergalactic battle. This is not for the faint of heart. This is not for those who want to come out of this unscathed. We're coming out of this to win. So Kyrie watched the movie. I don't know if he watched the movie. I think he was his mother, I guess his name it means Yahweh or something like that. So he goes to go Google something, and a movie comes up, from Hebrew to Negroes. Black people wake up, and it's just documenting how we are the lost children of Israel. And for the longest, the what it seems like a lot of the Jewish community, if not the Jewish community, if not the higher ups, the Kabbalah following or so Jewish community. And look, folks, don't get any of this twisted. None of this is anti-Semitic. None of this is hate. None of this is, but it's what I'm doing is talking about what has been affecting Black people, my brothers and sisters. So now, when we analyze everything, the truth is the truth. And if you want to stop us to focusing on that, then speak the truth. So I've come across a lot of new information over the last couple of days that really, and it's the wildest thing. It's like, look, they're talking about music. And I'm like, ha, ha, ha. Like, that's just something in this last couple years. Like, bro, we're talking about thousands of years ago, bro. Like, we're going back hundreds and thousands of years to, like, really tap into what our lost birthright is. Not this music shit. Get your lyrics better. Get your lyrics better, folks. You're in Web3. You don't need the centralized powers anymore, okay? We made solutions for that. All right, but y'all still want that way of life. Get over the way of life. Become independent. Distribute. Support your next man. And guess what? 10 years from now, we will have exactly an even bigger of an industry than it is going on currently today. But nobody wants to sacrifice. Nobody does. Nobody wants to sacrifice. Oh, I guess I saw who just sacrificed. Kanye. Kanye just sacrificed. You know, it's uh-oh. Oh, it's at 3:30. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm responding with truth. You're responding to me with feeling. That doesn't match. I'm talking facts. You're telling me feeling. That doesn't match. So we're obviously not on the right. You're not reading. That's what that says. Stay present, folks. Yeah. So yeah, man. Kyrie tweeted, and look, at the end of the day, I don't care what you say as Jewish people. I don't care. Don't. Because as long as our people are lost out there, I'll do everything to focus my people. It doesn't matter. It's not anti-Semitic. It's not hate speech. It's knowledge. So if you're telling me that to give my people knowledge is called hate, well then guess what? Let's analyze why you think that's hate. Oh, is it because once our nation is pulled together, you really will see who will dominate the world? But yet we are a forgiving people, so it's not like we're going to come back to do anything to y'all. We're just going to keep it pushing and moving. That's the biggest thing, folks. It's not any anti-hate. It's not anti-hate speech. Nobody hates the religion. Charles Barkley. Stupid. Nobody hates the religion. It's freaking, I mean, if we're Israelites, why would we hate the Jewish religion, dummy? Dummy. Most of these people are walking around dumb. D-U-M-M-M-M-M. Dumb. They're dumbed down. They're dumbed down with the money. Dumbed down with the money. It's the money that keeps you as the watchdogs, the sentinels. You know, that's what it is. And that's horrible. You're cheap. You're a prostitute. Speak the truth. Telling me Adam Silver. Adam Silver what? Adam Silver, again, makes money off of us. Like, fill the league up with Jewish basketball players. Please. Go ahead. See who shows up. Adam Silver should pay attention to us. Because without us, there's no them. Done. And if you don't see that because they just gave you because you just got your $100 million contract, I mean, we see how clear as day it is. You're protecting your bag. You are protecting yourself and giving us up for that. I mean, come on. Yeah, it's horrible. It's sad. You know, then we back it up to Kanye. I mean, look, listen. We know everything Kanye went through. And he'll continue to go through. Because, you know, now people are going to be making their money off of Kanye. Because now it's just like, oh, let's demonize Kanye. It's easy for us to do. I'm telling you this, man. We need to protect Kanye. Protect Kanye. Protect Kyrie. Because when these guys start getting black people to start coming at us when we're talking truth, like Stephen A., you don't even know your history. You know your parents come from Caribbean island, but that's it. All you know is Hollis, Queens. So we're letting dumb people be the arbiters of our salvation. We get them to chastise and criticize others of us. You know, like, now look, I understand when it's saying don't bring your components or pieces or, you know, stuff to espouse on my platform or so forth and blah, blah, blah. But when you have a reporter ask, when you have an owner in sight, you know, like Kyrie didn't bring it up. And then they started asking him about Alex Jones. Like, all of these are setups. Don't you understand who owns the newspapers and owns the airwaves? And these reporters come out trying to have these gotcha moments. Like, that's so whack. And then when we're like, well, look, what's their agenda? To hide the truth. Which is why we say mint culture. Verify the culture, verify the situation, put it onto a blockchain so it can always be referred to and cannot be altered. They've altered things. Listen, in 1860, whatever the hell, the Emancipation Proclamation was said, and Lincoln was supposed to be releasing slaves. Now listen, y'all, you do also realize that Abraham Lincoln was black. He wasn't all white. And he wasn't all right either. But he wasn't 100% white. He was black. He was mixed. And they had him under pressure because he wanted to free the slaves. But guess what else happened? His Royal Imperial Highness Tewadi II of Ethiopia decided to say, yo, you're about to let my people go? Babylon is really going to let these people go out of slavery. You know why? Because from the Bible, and listen, don't get me, I'm not a Bible thumper, but this thing is a historical fact, right? You look at it as a historical document. The children of the Lord were going to be taken under captivity across the land into a new Egypt, held, shackled, and you would have to produce for your enemies. That's what this thing says. And I'm like, wait, what? Huh? Get the hell? I'm like, hold up, what'd that sound like? And you remember, I'm the one that's always telling you, man, not everybody was slaves. But when they're talking about a group of people that this happened to, I'm like, wow, that makes sense. Remember this, slaves were also taken to the Caribbean. Also, my heritage, Syrian. Factor all this stuff in. So when the Ethiopian emperor, the king, who knew that his people were taken from the continent, brought across water on boats, shackled, chained, to come work for their oppressors for hundreds of years in this modern day Egypt called the United States of America, the Americas. So when he heard that his president was going to release the people, he's like, finally, well, guess what? My people are going to need money. My people are going to need something to get started. So I'm just going to send over this $4 billion in gold bullion. And this is 1865. Lincoln was killed after, Wilkes Booth was killed. They say because Lincoln freed the slaves. But I also feel that now, as I get new information, I realize it just wasn't about killing Lincoln for the slaves. Because the slaves were going to be able to be mind controlled. Freedom is like, you can't give me freedom. Like, freedom is mine. But that's something for another time. But from what historical records, there was $4 billion in gold bullion that was sent over to the United States in 1867 for the free slaves. There was a plot of land that was supposed to be purchased, 583,000 acres. Remember this, these aren't people. This is a nation. Lost nation. That's the thing. So after Lincoln died, His Royal Highness died 2 years after. Both of them assassinated. So what happened to the $4 billion in bullion? Mr. Salmon Chase, the Secretary of State, I believe, or the Treasury. What happened to the $4 billion? I know I never liked Chase Bank for a reason. Like, folks, if you hearing my voice, man, like, when I tell you to mint your culture, verify these things happen, verify your ownership, verify your thoughts. Like, don't trust the enemy. This is the enemy. Now there's a system that's built. So anybody that decides to tell you that you don't know what you're talking about, if they ever try to tell you that Kanye needs to take his meds, that Kyrie is an anti-Semitic, that if they try to use these words that scare you off of your square, they are the enemy. They are your enemy. Because if they can't hear what you're saying and not try to look for a better understanding, if they just try to like slap down what you're saying and just go back at it like the Charlemagne, like, listen, man, this is why I'm telling you, these people are full of shit. Charlemagne the God? Listen, B, if I see him, I'm stabbing him in the eye. He's such a piece of shit. Like, he want to be out there demonizing Kanye, but yet he actually feels the way Kanye feels. He's already said that. He's already spoken about it. So now he wants to call Kanye anti-Semitic and KKKA. Like, I'm really, yeah, man. Oh boy. It's just, I wish like all of these people would just move on, because they don't help us. They don't. The black effect. You can't have the black effect when you are in partnerships with these Jewish people. I'm sorry. Not in that type of partnership, because they're controlling your narrative. And your narrative is in direct response, like it's in direct odds with their narrative. Like, they want people to feel that they are the children of God, that they deserve Israel or the Holy Land. Meanwhile, when were they enslaved? When were they put on ships, shackled, taken across seas? Just like it says in the book. When was that? Like, they were fleeing Europe. Like, those Jews, they converted. Those Jews were converted. The ones that came out of Europe. They converted into Judaism. And they are a whole different ethnic class. The Jews that God is talking about in the scriptures are from Africa. They're different. They're like us. They look like me. And you have all of these ridiculous, descendants of slaves picking up Christianity as their religion. And it just left a whole bunch of confusion, which is the reason that I implore you guys out there to go find some knowledge. Go find some education. Go find some elders to go sit with, because I am, I'm knowledgeable. I'm getting more knowledgeable, but I'm also like someone that, like, I don't want this to be something that is co-opted. Like, I realize there'll be a lot of things I'll be speaking about and a lot of platforms I'll be on, and I need to be out on those platforms, so I need to be strategic in my conversation. But here on mine, I get to talk about all of this stuff, and not in a hateful way. Kid me? Why would I hate Jews? Even though there's a lot that hate us. There's a lot. I've seen some. And, and the thing is, every time they bring up MLK, look, man, it was really just MLK, man. Yeah, there was one or two Jewish folks out there, but it's mostly for optics. It's mostly so they can play it close and be subversive from the inside. Like, think about that. You know, they get inside of hip hop and music, they become subversive. They direct where these young bucks should start talking. Now people are in jail, people are dead. You know, people have bad, whatever the hell, bad self-esteem. What's the woman name? Margaret Sanger. You know, Planned Parenthood. Look, man, if y'all don't understand this, like, yeah, this thing is nefarious. But don't run away from opening your eyes. Don't run away from questioning. Don't run away from that. Do not. Because the pressure is on. The pressure is on. The answers that we're looking for are there. They just don't want to say it. They're just sitting back waiting. Like, we got receipts. We got receipts. So again, folks, Art Mob, we are about freedom strategies. And one of the main freedom strategies that we have is unleashing your mind. Stop believing the lies. Challenge. If it doesn't sound right, if it seems funny, you know, go look at the definition of anti-Semitic. Go check that out. You know, yeah, there was definitely a world war and, you know, a white supremacist going after everyone. I don't know why we don't talk about the you know, the 2 million black people that were also in concentration camps dying. You know, and all of the other genocides. The Armenian genocide we don't speak about. You know, there's been genocides, but it's all about who controls the narrative. Because, again, I wasn't there. I can't tell you. But all I know is that this narrative is being pushed down my throat. And anytime I push back at it, I'm told I'm bad. I'm wrong. So that right there, just like when I was a kid, that don't make any sense to me. Now, it don't make any sense to me. I don't know why y'all don't want to talk about it. Like real talk. And, you know, I don't know if I'm the person to have that conversation. There's a lot of people who put a lot of time and effort into this that can't. But I don't hate Jews at all. I love Jews. I love Jewish people. You know, but I love everyone. And I don't hate everyone. You know, but I match energy. So if you're hitting us with some shit, trust me, I got smoke. I'm ready for that smoke all day. You know, outside of that, you know, it's one love. It's one love. Big time. You know, so I'm going to take off. I'm going to head out. I got some things to do. I got some business calls to make. And, you know, I released a book this week. And I just want to be able to kind of put a big marketing push behind it. So I'm putting together kind of my package. I'm getting, you know, I'm creating a group of masterminds and, you know, using my knowledge to help people because, you know, it's not about how much money I can make you. It's really about how much money I can save you. You know, I've had some friends that I released a coin this week. And the saddest thing about it is like when you don't pay for stuff, you don't listen to the knowledge. Because 3 distinct things I told them about this coin launch and why and when and how. They decided to do what they want. Guess what? 110 grand in the hole, flop. You know, so it's just like, bro, could have saved you that easily. So that's why I'm like, I have to have a book and I have to, you know, get my mastermind out there and let's talk some real good shit at the end of the day. That's what we have to do. So, folks, it's your boy Major. And yeah, today was a little more militant than I normally am, but it's more knowledgeable because there's too many things that are happening out there right under your nose, and we're being distracted. And it's not about the distraction, it's about opening your eyes, waking up, and holding people accountable. Hey, again, y'all, your boy Major Dream. I'm signing out, and I'll see you guys next time on the Art Mob Pod, where we utilize Web3, NFTs, blockchain to build freedom strategy mindsets. All right, because at the end of the day, if you're not minting your culture, then the vultures will just be able to pick at it, eat it, and do whatever the hell they want with it, and we'll just be lost again. So mint culture, generate legacy, and love one another.